Hey, what's going on, fam? It's Kyle Henderson at Bama Football on YouTube. Run the thumbs up on these videos. We appreciate you guys being here. Here with one of our newest content creators, Jake Merrill. Definitely, we'll put his contact info inside the comment box so you can go support him, whether that's on social media. But let's jump right into it. No time to waste. The latest on Ryan Grubb is that he is being considered, at least for the offensive coordinator position with the Seattle Seahawks. Now, a lot of changes going on with Seattle, a lot of changes going on with the Washington Huskies. Merrill, actually in the state of Washington, really has a great understanding of Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. Had a great video about him talking about this. He's here to kind of put some things into perspective. So I'll go right into it. Ryan Grubb to the Seahawks. Why is this? Is this realistic? Do you not see it happening? Give us the latest, Merrill.
Yeah, I think for me, you look at this and you look at Ryan, last year, right? We have a good example right here. Ryan had a chance to go to University of Alabama before Coach KD got hired. He had that chance. That's significant income increase, right? And he said no. And why is that? Because it's all about relationships for him. And I think if you look back on his history, you look back on where he comes from, and you look back on some of even his quotes, because you can read a lot into somebody based past and quotes, right? And Ryan's just one of those guys, he's loyal. And I just do not see him taking a job at University of Alabama to be the OC at one of the biggest powerhouse football school in the nation, and then immediately jumping over to be the OC for Seattle Seahawks, which is very unpredictable. You got a new young coach. He's been very successful. Props to him. They're getting hired for Seattle Seahawks. Baltimore's defense was great. They were awesome. But is Ryan Grubb really going to sit there and say, you know what, I'm going to jump from this opportunity where I'm comfortable, where I love who I'm working with, where I got my best friends around me, where there's a lot of excitement, and we're about to usher in this new era. Do I really want to jump over to Seattle Seahawks? That's a complete unknown. And yeah, you got connections in the coaching world. And there are maybe people on that staff. I mean, he was just in Seattle for the last 2 years. That he's going to know and be familiar with. But do you really want to jump over and take over a position like that? I just don't see it in him. The guy comes from a very humble background. Yeah, he's not jumping ship as we've seen with maybe some of these other different coaches. And I know Washington fans are going to get pissed off with that comment because they're like, KD's been jumping every 2 years. Not necessarily true. He was in Sioux Falls for 5 years. So I think the opportunity that he has with University of Alabama is where he's going to stay. And I think the rumor mill comes out because it hits on all the points I said in the last video on Grubb. Like he's there to deliver amazing results. He wants to be the best O coordinator. And truthfully, I think he has fun developing young guys. I think he's a development master. And I think you saw that with, there's two great examples, obviously. Penix and Penix's skill set. I mean, his development, amazing under Grubb. But then you have Jake Haener. And I don't know, a lot of you guys know about Jake Haener. He was the quarterback at Fresno State when DeBoer was there. I think Haener's now with New Orleans Saints, but he credits Grubb and DeBoer for his ability to develop into the type of quarterback to go and actually get drafted to an NFL team, which, as you know, that's hard. That is very hard to actually get drafted, not even sign as an undrafted free agent. He got drafted. So I think there's a passion behind development. And I think you do not get that same type of buy-in and joy and just love for the game at the NFL level as you do in college and in high school. There's just way more, you're way more connected, and you have a very deeper relationship with the guys you're coaching, right? And I just don't see him leaving DeBoer. Right? I don't see that right now.
Yeah, and I think as we look to Ryan Grubb being considered for the Seattle Seahawks OC position, here with Jake Merrill, a contributing reporter right here at Bama Football on YouTube, actually located in the state of Washington, has some really good knowledge of Coach Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb. That's why we like him to have him on. I mean, he has some really good points, and we were talking about this. This is out there. People are talking about this right now, and I think he has a really good perspective. So I appreciate you being here, Merrill, talking with us today. And this is his actually segment. I kind of jumped in because we do report news as it happens. So, we wanted to take a break to come and talk about this. Merrill, I wanted to ask you about this. Now, Kirk Herbstreit just recently said that you're going to see more college coaches go to the NFL because of, the Wild Wild West in terms of NIL and different things are happening in that space. So maybe touch on that. And then also from a pay perspective, I'm looking this up right now in terms of what the OC at Seattle is making. It looks like, I don't know, we're finding maybe, a million, I don't know, almost $2 million. Here at Alabama, are you making close to that? You're probably, I would imagine the OC is going to be making like 2.2, 2.5. So, I mean, you're saying loyalty, you'd probably be paid more here. And you're right. Like, he did have an opportunity to leave Kalen DeBoer before. And I do think that Ryan Grubb will eventually be a head coach. But I don't, and it does seem like he wanted to stay in Washington too, like for that job. But if you could talk about, maybe that, like the pay, and him, wanting to stay in the Washington region as opposed to coming down here, a little bit more on that, please.
Yeah, I think really good points, right? Like with the pay, how much more money do you need, especially when you're looking at that detail right there. So maybe you're making, $1-2 million as an offense coordinator in the NFL. Okay. But then you're making maybe similar or even a little more as offensive coordinator at University of Alabama. I mean, he was making, I think he made actually $2 million at University of Washington just to keep him.
Yeah.
Granted, he still wasn't, I think, going to leave. I think it was, how do I start to kind of broaden like my idea of saying my goal someday is to get to this, but he wasn't going to leave. If he was going to leave, he would have gone. So now to be in a position where he gets to do it again with a talent pool that is so, I can't, I mean, like I said in the last video, Grubhub, like that's exactly what it's going to be. These guys are all going to eat, and he has the talent to make it explode. I mean, it's going to be amazing to watch these guys just truthfully come together and blow up in this offense. So why would he want to leave that to go into the unknown?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's all about production and time. And he even says that in a quote, and with his background of farming, right? He knows that farming takes time to develop. It takes time to produce. There's a lot of hard work you got to put in, and you have to make sure that you're really thinking about, like, am I doing it the right way and the right steps?
Yeah.
And in his whole career, if you look at it, everything he's done has been in the right way, in the right steps, and it's built up step by step. I don't see him just jumping to Alabama and then leaving within, 3-4 months, not even a month. So with Kirk Herbstreit, though, we go back to those comments, you're going to see more coaches leave. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because what do you like to develop more? I think that's what it comes down to. What is your passion and what do you love? I mean, money does play maybe a role. Maybe some guys like to throw that title on their resume. Like, hey, I coached in the NFL, pretty badass, right? But at the same time, like, what do you love to do? And I think that's going to be the key that you see. And that's why I think I really love the background of guys coming out of high school as coaches into college, because they more have that background of this true passion for football, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not? You coach a bunch of high school kids, and that can be tough sometimes, you know what I mean? But then to build up from there, even if, especially with Ryan, like he went small schools, then he gets to the big schools, and he does it all with DeBoer. Why would he leave him now? Wouldn't make sense. And like I said, going back to that, I think I don't know if you'll necessarily scare a bunch of coaches into the NFL just based on NIL and because it looks like a free agency. I do think there's going to be a lot of rules put in place because it has been so chaotic. I mean, especially with the transfer portals, the amount of money given out, the Jaden Rashada stuff from Florida, that's insane. $13 million to a high school quarterback. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Like that kid's not worth $13 million. Yeah, he's good. He's decent, but he's not worth $13 million. That's like not, is it the first pick in the NFL draft next year? Like, no.
All
like,
right.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And good feedback. And a lot of people, they're clearly excited about Ryan Grubb, and I think that's why, you know, clearly people are on right now. They're like, "What? Ryan Grubb want to go kind of get
Yeah.
the latest." So I appreciate that, and didn't mean to like hijack your segment. Can you stay along and kind of finish out your segment? Yeah, are you cool on like timing?
Yeah.
Just we have a private chat that is kind of on the side if you need, or you can just we'll be
Okay.
behind the scenes too if you need something else. We'll throw it on here, but just wanted to come in and go back and forth with Merrill during his segment, which is called the Merrill Report, and just in time, you know, he's doing a good job. Look at this, boom. All right, right in there, BB with the 100 spot. Thank you so much.
Legit.
Right now, you know, we really appreciate. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. So run the thumbs up on these videos. We appreciate it. Super chats, of course, are welcomed, and we really appreciate everyone being here right on Bama Football on YouTube. He is Jake Merrill. Let us know what you think about our content inside the comment box. We're always open to you know, to get better. That's what we want to do. Kill Talk in here with 5 spot. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you guys' continued support. I'm going to jump behind the scenes, Merrill, but if you want to just make one more point on Ryan Grubb and then kind of move to your segment, we got you from the editing standpoint. But thank you so much for the latest on Ryan Grubb, and I'll see you guys here in a couple hours.
Thanks, Kyle. So, I mean, here we go back into all the rumors that are going to start going around with Bama